Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tune-In, and thank you for tuning in. Today we are doing an album exchange, so let's get into it.
Alright, so basically, I've got two albums that I picked out, and Brodie's got two albums he's picked out. I'm going to swap them, and then we're each going to listen to the albums that the other person gave us, and we're going to basically review them.
Yeah, we're just going to write a review. We're going to give each other like 2 to 3 days to listen to it, and get a proper review, because if we just listen to it one time, I don't think that's going to do much. Alright, let's get started. So, do you want to go first and open up my CDs?
Yours, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So I'd open up this one first.
All right. So, ooh, Prince for You.
Okay. I'm not going to get, yeah, see the crack right there?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to give him any hints, but that's his first album.
The only hint I have is that you put it as #1 on your Prince ranking video.
Yes. But that's his first album. That's like funk, R&B, soul. It's a very good album. And I'm excited for you to listen to that. Just because it's his like first beginnings, and I think you'll like it.
Sweet. I'm excited to listen to it.
The second one is completely opposite.
All right.
We're just filming us open Christmas gifts.
All right. Chaos and Disorder.
Chaos and Disorder by Prince. Now, this album is rock. Gritty rock. Now, not the whole thing, but most of it is rock. It's completely different from For You. That's why I kind of wanted to give you them both, because I think they're completely opposite, and maybe if you listen to them and review them, that could get you into Prince. Maybe.
I was going to say I could kind of get a feel for his different musical styling.
My mission is to get him into Prince, so that's what I did, so hopefully it works.
All right.
Which one should I go for first?
Go with that one.
This one?
Yeah.
And I want to be careful because I don't want to damage his property. And I promised if I did, I'd replace the case. Led Zeppelin 4, right?
Yep. If your mission was to get me into Prince, my mission is going to be try to get you into Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
So I picked basically their most famous album.
I don't know Led Zeppelin that much, but recently Noah did an episode on ranking their albums, so
that was me, actually. Noah did Pink Floyd.
I meant, yeah, sorry. He ranked Led Zeppelin albums, and I remember the covers, but I don't know much of the songs.
This album has a lot of their most famous songs on it, so I figured if there's any album that could get you Led Zeppelin, don't worry about it.
I almost already damaged his property. I did not think that would happen.
Yeah. So I figured if there's any album I could probably use to get you into Led Zeppelin, it would be that one, because it kind of has an array of the different stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it just like mainly rock?
It's mainly rock. It's got some blues on there and even a little bit of folk in there.
Pop? No?
Not really.
Okay. So, I'm curious. And just to be honest, we told each other the artists
like right before we started.
Right before we started, so we just have a feel for what's going to happen, but other than that... Oh, okay. This is another one you've had in random record pooling, right?
Yep. Okay, that one I picked for you. This was the one I wanted to try to get you into. This was the one I kind of was feeling out to figure out which one you would like most. And I figured you like 80s synth, pop, rock, so I figured...
This is pop and rock?
I mean, it's like progressive rock, but it has a lot of synth in there.
Is it Noah the one that likes?
Yes.
You like?
Again,
Yeah.
I picked the most famous and the most accessible albums. They have some albums with really long songs on them, but these ones aren't terribly long.
The Camera Eye is almost 11 minutes, so. How do you pronounce that?
YYZ.
Oh, it's just YYZ?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. I was going to put the title up here because I wasn't sure if it was like Yiz or something.
No, it's just YYZ.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know any of the songs off of these albums.
I don't either.
Yeah, so we'll be back in 2 or 3 days with our full reviews, so thank you. Okay, so welcome back. We each had about 3 days to listen to each of our albums, and let's see what we think about that.
Oh boy. So the first album you gave me was Prince For You. So I'll just do like a track by track, and then I'll give my final thoughts on the album.
I'm so nervous for what you're going to say, but I don't think you're going to be harsh, so I'm
really not.
I'm glad.
All right. So the first track is For You, which is only 1 minute and 6 seconds. I think it's a pretty good track. I can't really say much about it because, I mean, the only thing I can really say about it is that Prince layered like 47 of his vocals together to make this one track. But it's pretty short, so I can't really say too much about it. I think it's a good track. It's really more of an opener than like an actual song.
It's very, if you don't mind me interjecting.
I don't.
It's very beautiful. The vocal harmonies, like you said, there's 45 or 47 vocal harmonies stacked on a chop on top of each other, and it makes it sound like heavenly and like, I don't know, like mystical. I don't really know how to explain
I gave this track an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good.
All right. The next track is In Love. I really like this track, surprisingly. I don't often listen to like funk or R&B music, but I actually enjoyed this track. I like the synth on it. Mm-hmm. The lyrics were really good. I like the lyric, I really want to play in your river.
Yes.
Moving on.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a pretty good song. I feel like it was a good, like, high-energy opener for the album.
Very much so, yeah.
So I gave this track a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow. Okay. Off to a good start. I mean.
Right. So the next track is Soft and Wet. I like this track. I don't know. Maybe it's just between this and the first track. I mean, I feel like In Love is kind of like the dominant track out of the two of them because they're like a similar style, but I feel like I like In Love better. I don't know.
Yeah, Soft and Wet feels like he's singing to somebody that he likes, and it can feel a little bit different when you're listening to it and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. But it's still a good song.
I agree. I gave it 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
All right. The next track is Crazy You. I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't a huge fan of this track.
Okay.
My reasoning for it is it's like 2 minutes, and I think it's just Prince and an acoustic guitar, if I'm not mistaken on that.
It's acoustic guitar. Let me check. Electric guitar, percussion, acoustic guitar, cymbals, finger cymbals, congas, and chimes.
Dang, that's a lot of percussion.
Yeah.
Either way. And this is probably going to be a point that I'm going to make about both albums. I feel like Prince is at his best when he's being Prince.
Yes.
Like, he's at his best when he's being funky and cool. I feel like this track doesn't really, like, capture that.
Yes.
So I gave it a 6.
Okay, all right. I thought you were actually going to put it lower. That's a good rating.
I don't really think any of the songs on this album are terrible.
Okay.
Next track is Just As Long As We're Together. Another funk disco
and
R&B.
That's the longest track on the album, and you can really feel it. I think it's like 6 minutes.
That's really my only complaint with the song, to be honest. It feels like it runs, like, the lyrics finish at, like, 3 minutes into the song.
And then, yeah, half of the song was originally just one song, and then the other half was a instrumental that he added on to it called, I think it was Raspberry Jam, and it does feel longer, but to me, I think it feels cool because it's technically like 2 separate songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like if he split the two, split the 2 songs, I would have liked it a little better.
Yeah.
But the problem is the lyrics like cut off halfway through the song, so I don't know. It just felt like it was running on a bit long, so I went with like a 7.7 out of 10. Oh wait.
Okay.
Yeah, 7.7.
I really like his vocals on that track. They're strong, energetic, powerful. Like they're pretty good.
All right, so the next track is Baby, which I'm just looking to see what I wrote about that one. What did I write about this one? Okay, I know I listened to it, but I might have skipped it in my review, so I really can't say much about it.
I can.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
It's a very emotional song. It's my favorite song off the album, probably. It's powerful. There's the lyrics in it are beautiful. If you read those, it's almost like emotional. Like you could cry listening to that song, and yeah, it's a really good song. Personally, I would give it like a 9 out of 10.
I gave it an 8. So
okay, that's good.
Next song is My Love Is Forever, which is, again, another funk disco song. I like it, but my only complaint is it feels a little similar to Just As Long As We're Together. Mm-hmm. So I gave them the same score. I gave them 7.7 out of 10.
And to be honest, I can't really say anything about that song. I can't remember what it sounds like exactly. Do you have any lyrics from it written down?
I don't. I can hold them up real quick. Let's see what that was. My Love Is Forever.
Because if I saw the lyrics, I might be able to tell what song it is. You're always on my mind. Okay. All right. Yeah, that song's good. I'd give it a 8.5.
I gave it the same score as Just As Long As We're Together, so 7.7.
Yeah.
But, all right, the next song is So Blue, which kind of continues what my problem was with Crazy You. It doesn't, I'd say it doesn't really feel like a Prince song, because it does feel like a Prince song, but I don't know, it just doesn't have the same,
feel as a Prince song.
I agree.
And I completely understand that because that's his first album. So it feels brand new. It feels like he just jumped in the studio, started singing, and that was him, right away. So, yeah, I like that song.
Oh, I gave that a 6.8 out of 10. And the final track is I'm Yours. This was my favorite track on the album.
Okay.
I started listening to it. I liked the funky bass of the song at the beginning. And all of a sudden, he just explodes into a guitar solo. And my jaw literally dropped. Yeah.
That song is incredible. It's so strong.
It is. I completely agree with you. It's just, I really got to learn it at some point because I don't know, there's just something about the way he plays that intro. It's just really cool.
And by the way, we should mention, you play guitar. Mm-hmm. I don't think they know that. So he plays guitar. He sent me a video. He's pretty good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So I gave this one a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that makes sense.
My final thoughts on the album, a pretty strong first album, I say. The, lighter acoustic songs I didn't really get into as much. But overall, I think it's a pretty good starting album. So I gave it a final score of 8 out of 10.
Okay. That's, perfect. That's, okay.
All right.
So, that album, would you go back and listen to it?
Yeah, I would go back and listen to it.
Okay, that's good. So I got him liking one Prince record. Let's see if I can get him liking all of Prince's records.
Yeah. The next album he gave me was Chaos and Disorder. So I'll just start with the title track. For being a rock head, I wasn't a huge fan of this song.
Yeah.
This album, the whole album shows Prince's guitar playing skills, which are pretty good. But I don't feel like his guitar playing on this album sticks to where his guitar playing strengths lie, which is on I'm Yours. He plays very melodically. Mm-hmm. And I feel like on this album, he does it a lot more grungy.
Yeah, on that song, it feels like he was a little carefree and he just kind of did it. Like, it sounded good. It was just, it doesn't stick out to me as one of his best rock songs, so.
Yeah. I gave it a 6.8 out of 10.
Oh, lower.
Next track is I Like It There.
Oh.
I like this track.
You do?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
But, yeah. I feel like it's more in line with what we saw on the first album, with more like funk. Mm-hmm. I'd say funk rock because it was more funk, but the lyric I wrote down for this song was, I swear upon your heavenly body. I don't know why I like that lyric.
Like it, yeah.
Prince can write some good lyrics.
Prince, I mean, possibly one of the best lyricists of all time. Now, there's a lot of songwriters.
Yeah.
But I think he sticks out to me as a very strong one. I think he could get a message across in such a simple line. And that's what sticks out to me with his music.
All right, so the next track is...
What did you rate it?
Oh, yeah, I rated it an 8.
8, okay, that's good.
Strong track. So the next track is Dinner with Dolores.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
You didn't like it?
This was like my least favorite track on the album, if I'm being honest.
It's almost a little cringy.
It kind of sounds
like there's a line like a brontosaurus. Like
yeah.
He went out to dinner with this woman named Dolores, and
was this an actual event or is this just the story of the song?
No, it's just like the story of the song, and so like he went out to dinner with this lady Dolores, and there's a line in the song that says like a brontosaurus, she was packing it in. Do you remember that line?
I do remember that line.
Like it can be a little catchy, but
yeah, and it also the instrumentals aren't like top tier Prince instrumentals in my opinion.
Yeah.
It kind of just sounds like elevator music, so I went with a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
All right, the next track is The Same December, and this was my favorite track on the album.
Same here.
Oh, nice.
Well, actually, my second favorite track on the album.
Well, yeah, I think it's a really good song. Let's see, the lyric I really liked in the song was from the chorus. It's, you only know what you know, you only see what your heart will show.
Yeah.
I really like that.
The opening line, there once was a ball with a line straight down the middle. One side was black and the other was white, and they both understood so little. I forget like the last part of the opening verse, but it's great. Like it's so beautiful.
All right, so I rated that a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Yeah.
Oh. Good.
So next song is Right the Wrong. I don't you see, there's only one really part of the song that I remember. I mean, I feel like I remember a bit of the chorus, but
I can't do the voice.
You're trying to do the part from the beginning.
An Indian woman buried her grandpa in the Black Hills.
Yes, that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That kind of caught me off guard with Prince doing a deep voice Southern twang.
It didn't sound like Prince at all. Like,
it did.
No, yeah.
But I remember bits and pieces of it, and I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I like the message of the song.
Yeah, and the instrumentals are pretty good. Not the best song, but it's worth listening to if you want to go check it out.
I agree. All right, the next song is Xanily.
That's my favorite song on the album.
I kind of got similar vibes between Chaos and Disorder and this one. Mainly the instrumentals because it was a lot of like grungy guitar, but I kind of have the same stance on Chaos and Disorder as I have on this one.
Yeah.
It wasn't really one of my favorites that I listened to.
That guitar is so funky, and like it's funk, rock, blues, and like pop all at the same time, and I think it blends like perfectly into the song.
Honestly, I wrote this in my review that this album came out in 1995. I almost feel like Prince might have been inspired a little bit by the grunge movement.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I gave this one a 6.8 out of 10, but same score for this and Chaos and Disorder.
And that album, it was heavily inspired and put together by like the whole Warner Brothers like thing, and it's just it's very chaotic. And it has a lot of disorder. All right, the
next song was I Rock, Therefore I Am.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, it's not a bad song, but the title is a bit misleading because it's not really much of a rock song.
It's like rap mixed with rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not a terrible song. My only real complaint is that it, again, kind of like, what was it? Just As Long As We're Together. It kind of runs a bit long, and there's like 3 different rap breakdowns, and it kind of started to wear on me a little bit.
Did you hear that woman's voice?
No.
Rosie Gaines is her name.
Oh wait, I think I do remember that. Was it like back up with Prince? Was like they were singing the? Okay, yeah, I remember that.
She did a lot of background vocals for Prince, like on his Diamonds and Pearls album. That's another one. Maybe I'll give you that one sometime to review. But her background vocals and her voice in general is just amazing. Like,
all right, so the next song. Wait, did I tell you? I gave it a 7.3.
Okay.
Wow,
Wow, I'm shocked you rated it that high.
None of this. You see, I could listen to this I would rather listen to this album than most music today.
Oh, yeah. I think that's safe to say.
The next track is Into the Light.
Into the Light.
I like this track. I feel like it achieved what Crazy You and So Blue kind of fell short of, it with like a more emotional sound of instrumentals. And I think it's a pretty good song. I like the piano in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts out, doesn't it like start out really soft? And then it like goes into like rock. Like it's a very beautiful intro, and then it starts going into this rock song, and it is a pretty song. Like,
I agree. So I gave this one a 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Good.
All right. The next song is I Will. I feel like it kind of backpedals from Into the Light. So, I mean, it feels similar to Crazy You and So Blue, which I wasn't really a fan of. So I gave this one a 6.6 out of 10.
Is that your lowest rating yet? I think it is. Or maybe not.
Wait, maybe, I don't think it is. I think it might be. I don't think I rated anything on For You too low. And next song is Dig You Better Dead.
Oh.
It's a pretty funky song.
That's a deep... I don't know, like, I don't think I like that song that much. It's almost, like, too dark for my liking. Like, Dig You Better Dead.
What? There was, like, the lyric in the chorus was, like, I dig you better dead. I want to see what your God really is or something. I forget what the line was. Let me pull it up.
Whoa. If that's the lyric, that's crazy.
I'd much rather see if your God is what you say.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is a cool lyric.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a pretty good song, but I feel like there are other songs on the album that are better.
Yeah.
So I went with a 7.5 out of 10.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then the last track was Hold You.
You mean Had You?
Had You. Why does it Hold You?
Hold You.
I say it with such conviction.
Yeah. Had You. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on that because it's interesting.
It is an interesting song. It's like Prince mostly repeating like the same kind of line. Another short song, kind of like For You on the first album. But I don't think it's a terrible track. It might get a little repetitive. So I gave this a 7.3 out of 10.
Okay.
So honestly, I wasn't really too big of a fan of this album. I feel like, honestly, even as a rock fan, I still like the funk on For You better. And I feel like this album is great Prince guitar playing, but I feel like there are other albums that show his guitar playing skills better. So I gave it a 6.8 out of 10.
The first album he gave me is Led Zeppelin 4 by Led Zeppelin.
We pushed each other way out of our comfort zones with this. You give me a funk album, I give you a hard rock album.
Yeah. The first track is Black Dog. It's a legendary and recognizable song, but it has its flaws for me. I love the powerful vocals, the guitar.
Yeah. If you don't mind if I interject, coming into this, I figured as a Prince fan, I feel like you would have appreciated Robert Plant's vocals because they have similar styles. They're both kind of like sleazy, bluesy, kind of something like that.
I do like some of the guitar, the vocals, and the loud drums, but I dislike the flirty lyrics. And that's coming from...
I was going to say, this is coming from a
fan.
Prince fan.
It just felt weird because it was like flirtatious. Like it just didn't seem right. It didn't seem like the right type of energy for like the lyrics. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I see your point, although I do feel like it's one of the bluesier songs, so I feel like the more flirty lyrics kind of make sense in that regard.
Bluesy?
Yeah, okay. And that's what, especially like the guitar riff. All right.
I rated it a 6 out of 10.
Dang.
I just want to apologize. Anyway, Rock and Roll was the next track.
I love that song.
It starts with drums I like, but they quickly become too loud in the mix when the actual song starts. And that's a thing that I see repeating a lot throughout the album. Similar to the guitar at Black Dog, it gets louder in the mix as the song moves on. And yeah, I wish the drums could have stayed like they did in the beginning, because if they just stayed like, it sounded like 50s rock and roll. It didn't sound like...
It's a great drum intro.
Like it just sounded smooth, and...
I can definitely see your point about the drums being louder in the mix, but it also... Because their drummer was John Bonham. He hits the drums like...
so hard.
Yeah.
And the song is shorter. Like, it's on the shorter side, and I think it changes a lot in the short time that the song lasts. And it's like chaotic, and I feel like they just started like throwing random instruments and ideas in just to make it like...
I think they were riffing. I think they started playing... I think the story behind the song is that John Bonham was playing like... I forget what the 50s rock and roll song they were playing is, and they kind of made the song off of... kind of spent on the song off of that.
Yeah. I give it a 4 out of 10, but an A for effort.
Rock and Roll.
I'm
4
sorry.
out of 10.
The Battle of Evermore is the next song on this album.
That's one of my favorite songs on the album.
Shoot. I'm gonna get destroyed. The song opens with a haunting mandolin combining blues, country, folk, and Zeppelin. I just want to take a second. Imagine a Led Zeppelin country song.
I'm going to warn you, this is not a country song.
It very much sounds like one to me. And the lyrics...
singing about Tolkien.
Like, the lyrics aren't country, but, like, it has a haunting country vibe to it. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I think it leans more... I think what you're trying to describe... I think what I'm thinking more is folk.
I see Noah walking back there, like, back and forth, like, pacing. He's so mad at me right now. The repetitive bring it back at the end gets kind of...
I can see that.
It kind of gets
I feel like
annoying.
they could have cut it down. I do agree.
But overall, I gave the song, I don't want to say it, 3 out of 10.
What?
Mostly because of the folky and country sound. I'm so sorry. I'm sincerely sorry.
Wow. I might have been too lenient.
I know. I'm seriously sorry. Like, Stairway to Heaven.
Tread lightly.
The song opens with that legendary guitar. But I'll admit, over time, it gets old because I feel like it's been played and overhyped so much over the years that I'm like...
Honestly, there was like a Kennedy Center Awards where they were big Led Zeppelin got.
Oh,
yeah.
The one with the choir?
Yes.
I watched a little piece of that, and I was amazed.
That version, like, brought back the magic of the song
Beautiful.
for me. Like,
yeah.
Like, it showed me, like, it brought new life to it.
Yes. The lyrics are smooth, soft, and warm, which is refreshing compared to all, like, the loud and heavy noises you hear on the rest of the album. It's a good song, a classic, and I'd probably listen to it again. I gave it a 8 out of 10.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Yes. Next song, Misty Mountain Hop.
Okay.
The song started off promising, but then went downhill. I'm sorry that it looks like I'm reading off my phone, but I took notes, so like I'm not the best like at remembering what I wrote down, so I kind of have to like look everywhere. So I'm sorry if that's kind of annoying. The instruments and vocals felt out of tune. There's no chorus, just a rambling story, and the repetitive instrumentals made it bland.
Okay. The last thing I would describe Led Zeppelin is bland, but go on.
No, I'm not describing the band. They have a flair that no other band has. But like this song, like specifically,
I can see it being repetitive.
Yeah.
What, you gave it a 2?
I gave it a 2.5 out of 10.
Dang! You were harsh.
I'm sorry.
The Led Zeppelin fans are gonna come.
They're gonna come for me.
Knocking at his door.
Yeah, like I'm a little scared, but I guess I gave it a half onto the 2 just out of pity.
Continue.
I'm so sorry. 4 sticks. There seems to be a sequence in this album of repetitiveness.
Honestly, these were the 2 songs I didn't think you were going to like most, and I was basically shocked by the first 2.
This song is not it for me. The song seemed to drag on forever and felt like a man trying to crawl himself out of a hole. I'm sorry. I'm not.
What?
I'm not hating on you in any way. I'm hating on the song.
A man crawling out of a hole.
It was good, but then it would fall back down. It was good, and then it would fall back down. Just not a strong song to me.
Honestly,
he's staring at me back there.
I can see that. I would probably say that and Misty Mountain Hop are the 2 weaker songs on the album, and the rest of the songs are incredible.
Yeah, to me, there were no good vocals, instrumentals, or any good like rhythm to hold on to throughout the song. I gave it a 1 out of 10.
Dang, that is harsh.
I was harsh because, not harsh, I was just being honest in the moment and how I felt about it. And so,
all right.
I'm sorry if I offended you.
Let's get this over with.
All right. There's 2 more songs actually.
What, really?
Going to California was the next track.
I forgot about that one in my Led Zeppelin video, and Noah brought it up to me after. So I'm like,
and there's one after Going to California.
Yeah.
The song opens up with beautiful acoustic.
They're playing acoustic.
The song opens up with beautiful acoustic guitar and simple but yet complex lyrics. There's a softness to the track that isn't in any other of the songs on the album. And it's like a fresh breath of air, and I just wanted to hold on to it. But like it was kind of sad that it was right at the end of the album, because I felt like, what if there were more songs like this? And then there was one more song after this, so I couldn't get much more of that. But what are your thoughts on the song?
I like the song.
Yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Dang.
Yes, that song was beautiful. I'd recommend it.
You heard it here, folks. A Led Zeppelin song he recommends.
I don't mean to hurt your feelings or anything like that. I'm just being honest. When the levee breaks, it opens up with heavy, like smashing drums, guitar, and harmonica, which is not an instrument I thought I'd hear from a Led Zeppelin album. it was great in the start, but then I knew it was going to get repetitive when I kept hearing the drums and the guitar over and over and over again. Like, it felt like they were repeating the same, like, riff and beat, and yeah.
Honestly, no, I'm not, but frankly, that's not even their song.
Huh?
It's not their song.
Oh, really?
It's a cover.
Okay. That kind of explains it. I was like, okay, this is kind of repetitive and long. Since it kept repeating the same sounds, there's not much I can say. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't bad either. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
The whole album had a rating, an average rating of 4.5 out of 10. All right.
You added
I didn't, I added it up and then divided it.
That's what I did.
So, it's not...
But I use that as, like, a gauge to try to figure out, like, in the ballpark of what I was thinking.
Yeah, 4.5.
Honestly, my final thoughts on that are, one, I'm kind of shocked that you didn't like the more bluesier songs, but honestly, if you liked, like, Going to California and a little bit of Stairway to Heaven, I would go listen to Led Zeppelin 3. It has way more of their acoustic stuff. Like, most of the album is acoustic.
Okay, so that's where we're going to stop for today. We'll be back next week and do my second album, Moving Pictures by Rush. And thank you for joining us today. We'll see you again soon. Okay, so hello everyone. We're back. It's the next week, and I'm ready to talk about the album he gave me, Rush's Moving Pictures. So, the first track on the album is Tom Sawyer. The intro has a very upbeat, like, drum sound. Like, it has 80s synth, and it sounds like music that would, like, be in the club, and you're, like, dancing.
Listening to Rush in the club.
Well, yeah, I guess that is a little weird because it's, like, rock. But it's also, like, very 80s synth pop sound.
Just the idea of a bunch of people in, like, a nightclub holding up glow sticks and listening to Tom Sawyer is hilarious.
But there's also rock elements, and it shows on the guitar, vocals, and drums. I really like this track, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. What's your...
I really like the track. I think it's awesome.
Okay.
I like the lyrics. It's just a great, fun track.
Yeah. The guy's voice that sings it is a little high. Does he always sing, like, higher? Okay.
That was the one complaint I figured you'd have about the album, is Geddy Lee's voice.
Yeah, it's a little different, but I actually like it, so I'm not mad at it. Track 2 was Red Barchetta. Is that how you say it? The song opens up with, like, bell-sounding synth and quickly turns into a rock jam. I love the guitar and the drums on the track. And everything in the song always seemed to have like a pushing power. Like, it felt like it was moving the whole time and not just kind of staying in the same beat, in the same sound.
The synth that you heard at the beginning was actually guitar.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that sounded exactly like synth. That didn't even sound like guitar. They must have had, like, a lot of pedals on.
They weren't even real. The guitarist, Alex Lifeson, wasn't even really, like, pressing down the frets. He was kind of, like, hovering his finger, like, and kind of get that sound.
Yeah. I love the drums. You can really feel the bass in this song. Like, it, I don't want to sound cringy, but it slaps. I didn't like that. Anyway, the song was really good, and towards the end it started to sound like a Prince song, which I really liked, and I rated it an 8 out of 10. So another good song. Like, it, I literally have no complaints so far, other than his kinda high voice.
That's a fair complaint. His voice isn't for everybody.
Yeah. The next song on the album is the one that I thought was pronounced Yiz. It's YYZ. The song opens with, like, bells that seem to be completely random, but then the song moves on with a hard rock vibe, and it opens up to way more like possibilities. The song has amazing drums, bass, and guitar that makes it feel much longer than it actually is. I don't know, there's something about it. It feels like it just really moves along and it feels good. I love that it's an instrumental. I feel like it's something I can, like, again, to sound cringy, vibe to. It feels really good, and I really like the song, and I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. So what do you think about YYZ?
I like it. I think it's a pretty good song. I'm glad they decided to make it instrumental because you can because YYZ, I think, is one of the hardest Rush songs to play on most instruments, especially bass and drums.
Yeah.
And I feel like putting lyrics over it might have cheapened it a bit, so I'm glad they decided to go for an instrumental.
Yeah, I don't even know how that song would sound with vocals.
Know.
Like, his high voice would kind of be cool, but I don't know what the lyrics would be. I don't know how that would look. The next song was Limelight, track number 4. The song feels smooth, but also, like, weirdly feels gritty. Like, it feels... Oh, that's a song, isn't it?
That's a completely different song.
What song is that?
That's Brain Stew by Green Day.
Oh. Never mind. It just feels like gritty and like smooth at the same time. I don't know what I was thinking. Green Day and Rush are like two completely different bands. It feels like blues, pop, rock, synth pop, and dance music all in one. Like it's just so upbeat and powerful. That's something you never really see with a lot of songs. Like the driving drums make the song like seem shorter than it is, and I feel like. Yeah, I don't know.
I really like the lyrics to the song. I think the lyrics on Limelight are probably the best on the album.
Yeah, it sounds so amazing, and towards the end, it sounds like something's like whistling. I don't know how to describe it. I can't even tell if it's like somebody actually whistling or like a guitar.
I think it might be like synth. If I'm not, I think I know what you're talking about, but maybe you can like point. Like, we can listen to the song later and you can point out to me what you're thinking.
Yeah, I can't really remember right now, but I gave this song a 10 out of 10.
I completely agree.
Is that your favorite song on the album?
Yeah, that's my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I really like it. I can't remember everything too well, but I remember the instruments, the vocals, I remember being, like, really good. But yeah, it's really good. The Camera Eye. Now, this song is like almost 11 minutes long. It's the longest track on the album. The first 3.5 minutes of the song are just instrumentals, but then the synth make it like, the synths that happen after the instrumental make it feel so like lively and upbeat. The drums sound like something you'd hear in a drum line. I don't know, there's something about it. They might be electric, but they also feel acoustic, and there's something about the way they hit. Ooh. It sounds so much like a drum line. It's also like a pop rock song, but I think it leans more on rock, I think.
I agree.
Once the lyrics start, the song feels folky in a sense, but it still has like pop and rock sounds too, and I just think that's a really good thing. When the singer is performing, the mix sounds quiet, and when it's just instrumental, it sounds loud, fun, and chaotic. I like that about it a lot. It's a great song by all standards, and I rated it a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
So far, better than the first one you gave me, Led Zeppelin 4. But yeah, I'm liking this album so much more already. The next song is Witch Hunt. The song starts out sounding like it's going to be like a soft, smooth, quiet song, and then it quickly turns into this heavy guitar rock song. It's really good. It has banging, loud drums, and there's something about the artists you like drumming really hard. Like, I feel like Led Zeppelin, all they did was just smash the drums, and then there's also really good drums on this. One thing I did like was the synth on the chorus. I think it felt smooth and like it made it feel like rounded. It made it feel like a softer track than the track actually was, and I appreciated that because I'm not the biggest fan of heavy sounds and everything. This was the only song on the album that I disliked, but
Really?
I also don't hate it. So I gave it a 5 out of 10, but I don't hate it or like it.
So it's in the middle.
It's right in the middle, yeah. 5 out of 10. What are your thoughts on that song?
I really like the song. I like the guitar on it. The lyrics are super good.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think I might like Witch Hunt a bit better than Camera Eye, but that's just my opinion.
yeah. Man, this album is so good. The drums. Oh, sorry, I'm reading from the next song, and I forgot to mention what the next song was. Vital Signs is the last track on the album. The drums were very catchy and smooth. They felt like a machine, even though the drummer, Neil
Peart.
Peart?
Yep.
Okay. Played an actual drum set. The guitar felt cool, and it almost sounded like it was synth, and the bass had the same cool, like, synth effect. It was just a really good song. It was a cool song and a good song, but at the same time, there's something about it I didn't like, and I can't remember what I didn't like, and I didn't write it down for some stupid reason. But I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Fair.
The whole album had an average rating of 9 out of 10.
Dang, that's good.
Now, that's a lot better. I see Noah standing in the back because he's the one that really likes Rush. And he's like giving me a cheesy smile right now. But anyway, that was my rating on that. So I hope you enjoyed that. This episode was a lot of fun. I feel like we each got to show each other what music we like. And do you have any final thoughts you want to say on your 2 albums?
Honestly, I think you gave me a pretty good, good variety of Prince albums.
Yeah.
I feel like I leaned towards For You a little more than I did Chaos and Disorder. Chaos and Disorder. I can't talk either. And, I think Prince is at his best when he's doing what he does best. For You, I agree with Brodie. Check out this album. Check out For You. Listen to a couple songs like maybe Xanily or Chaos and Disorder. And
Xanily.
See what you think of them. If it's something you like, go listen to the rest of the album. If not, there's plenty of other good Prince albums with a whole host of different musical styles.
Oh my gosh. The amount of genres Prince has: jazz, blues, rock, pop, EDM, country. There's a country song on that, basically. Right the Wrong is basically a country song.
But yeah.
An array of different genres from one artist, and it's insane.
Yeah. If you're looking for a place to start with Prince besides Purple Rain, For You's a pretty good choice. You have any final thoughts on your 2 albums?
Okay, so I'm sorry that I was harsh on this one.
It's okay.
It's my first listen, and like I said, I can change my mind. But off my first reaction, I did give it a 4.5 out of 10. Don't kill me. But it's an okay album.
Let's hope we don't. I think we're going to get letters about this.
Why'd you say it with that accent? Is that from like a movie or something?
It's from a cartoon.
Oh. But okay, it's not as bad as I said it might. It probably actually is better than I said it was, but like I said, first time listening to it.
It might just not be your style is what I'm picking
And
up.
over time I might change my mind, but
yeah,
it's an okay album.
I can see that it's a pretty big shift from what you usually listen to. So I can see that perspective, but maybe give it like another listen, and what they're doing might start to grow on you a little bit.
Yeah. This album, I want to get this. I want to get the record of it. It's so good.
That makes me Very happy.
It's amazing, and I'm sure that Noah's excited about that too. Great album. Like, I'd listen to this over and over again. Sure, there were like a couple songs where I was like, like it's not the best, but it's also not bad at all. But almost every song was over 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I'd listen to this again. Like,
yeah. Go listen to, if you like that, Rush has a giant catalog. If I were you, since you like this album so much, I'd probably go more into their 80s material because it's similar to what they did on Moving Pictures, although it is their best. That is probably their best album. But if you want to go, their 70s stuff is a little more hard rock and like prog elements with not as much synth. So if I were you and you wanted to keep exploring Rush's discography, I would go more into their 80s stuff.
what other albums are there?
What? I'm trying to think. I could list off a lot of the 70s ones, but the 80s ones kind of escape me. If you ask Noah, he could probably give you the 80s ones. The 70s ones are like their self-titled album, Fly By Night, 2112, Farewell to Kings. And some of their 80s ones I can remember, Hold Your Fire. There was one, I think Roll the Bones was in the 80s.
It's okay if you can't remember it.
Yeah.
I just want to get into their discography and get more of their stuff because really good album. This is incredible. I didn't think I'd like it that much, and I think this is one of the best albums I've listened to in a while, so who knows, maybe I have another favorite artist. But anyway, that was the episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode because we really liked making it, and it was fun to see what our opinions were. Anyway, I'm Brodie.
I'm Wyatt.
And thank you for tuning in.